Well, hello there, and welcome to those of you guys who are watching the replay. It's 2 o'clock, my daily time. Hey Indra, first on. And yeah, it's 2 o'clock. I do scope daily at 2 o'clock and occasional misses. Hello Heidi, good to see you. Thanks for sharing, Indra. Really great that you share. I love everyone to share, let people know that I'm on. Hey Joel, hey Heidi, woo! So, we're on day 4. This little 7-day track is rushing by. Oh, lovely. Hey Jessica, good to see you. Amiga HD, I recognise your name. Good to see you. Bob Myers, welcome Bob. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Matt, it's Matt. Oh, that's Matt from Harrogate, isn't it? That's Mr. HD. Is HD for Harrogate? Harrogate Day. Hi. Hey Angela, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So, 7 contemplations to raise your vibration, day 4. We're going to be contemplating the notion that I offer you today. Good morning, Angela. Woohoo! Are you East Coast or West Coast? I can't remember. Morning's got to be the States. From sunny Leeds. Oh, you're in Leeds. Or I don't know if you're in Harrogate or in Leeds itself, Matt, there, but good. Thank you for inviting people, Angela. Really appreciate that. And look at those hearts kicking off too. That's great. My hearts have gone up really, really well. I've got like 250,000 hearts now. That's bonkers. 250,000 liking that. So I appreciate all of those. Hey, Miss Skid. Is it my skid or Miss Kid? That's because we love you. Oh, I love you too, Indra. You got 1 million. I've definitely got my Aries competitiveness on there, but not sure I'll ever catch you. You just keep going. You just get more, won't you? But I'll give it a go. Tuppence 2228. I keep seeing 222 all the time. There we go. Welcome. So we're on day 4. How are you guys today? Oh, I should do introductions. Really. Let's turn it around. Oh, I'm very boofful today from that angle. Look at that. Well, good to see you. Hi, Tina from Australia. Hey, Tina. Welcome from down under. Now, time zone wise, it must be pretty late, or even possibly tomorrow. I don't know, early morning tomorrow. I don't know where it is. Nice shirt. Thank you. I love this purple one. It goes with the backdrop as well. Thanks for coming on. So my name's Joel Young. If you don't know me already, I'm the creator and custodian of MPA, which stands for Non-Personal Awareness, 10:30 p.m. Awesome. There with a glass of wine maybe, or maybe a late night Horlicks. Who knows? But yeah, creator and custodian of MPA, which stands for Non-Personal Awareness, and it's a simple way to stop taking things personally, which is a wonderful thing to do. You can find out about me if you add a .com. Yes, how did you know? A lucky guess there. Brilliant. Thanks, Tina. Good. Red or white? That's the big question. Red or white? I've just started drinking red wine again. Hi there, Renad. Renad. Are you an Iris? Are you a fella? Are you Ian? White wine. Okay. So I just started drinking. Yes, not taking things personally. I'm all about that. In fact, these contemplations are all what I would say from a non-personal perspective, offering you a little bit of an insight into what's underneath the simple process that helps you. Sick Track Gaming, welcome to you. So we've been going through some interesting ones so far, and as I say, it's about contemplating the notion. And I say this every day for people that haven't heard it before, but there's a great power to contemplation as distinct from trying to sort of fit it in your brain or figure out whether it's true or whatever. It's literally an invitation to contemplate, just to go, just let me sit with that and then see what comes, see where it takes you. Hey, Raffia. Sup, Briss? Yo, sup? It's all cool. We're doing contemplations to raise your vibration. Hey, Raffia. And so contemplation is a really nice, open, soft space where you can just let the notion do its work. Yep, contemplate. Yeah, so I'm offering 7 contemplations to raise your vibration. Want to hit this meth line with me, bro? No, that's not my bag, Briss. No, you knock yourself out if that's your thing, or get help if it's a problem. One of the two, whichever. Hey, Carly. So, yeah, so contemplation is something which is very much open to just allowing yourself to be with the perspective. And I call it a notion because the notion is, again, it's like I'm offering you a perspective. I will learn English. Can you help me? No, you need to get a TEFL teacher, teaching English as a foreign language. I would go for that. So, so a notion, because they're notions, because ultimately none of us have a fucking clue about the mystery of life. We only really have ideas about it, and we can share them, and they can be useful, they can resonate. But that's why I'm saying these are just notions. Okay. So I'm wondering if you would like to see today's notion. Oh, by the way, before I do that big reveal, let me just go over. So if you're curious about MPA, non-personal awareness, or any of these contemplations, you can find out about a simple way to stop taking things personally at nonpersonalawareness.com. Yes, says Christy, you're way ahead of me. He wants to see the next one. And also, if you stick a .com after my handle, joiningmpa.com, that will get you there. This is, Ollie, 7 Contemplations to Raise Your Vibration. I'm inviting you to, I'm going to offer some notions, or one today, is one each day, over these 7 days. We're on day 4. And I'm going to invite you just to contemplate it, see where it takes you. Does it connect with you? Does it agree with you? Does it challenge you? Does it open your mind? All of these things. Okay, so I had a couple of yeses. Anyone else want to see today's contemplation? Any more? Down here, yes. Yes, please, says Heidi. Yes, please. Does it help me mix old SKL garage? No, Ollie, it doesn't. Went to your web yesterday. Oh, great, Christy. That's good. Thank you. Thank you for visiting that, taking the time there. Brittany says, yas. I'm liking that. Yas. Andy says, yes. Okay. Hey, Vanessa. We're about to do the big reveal. So here we go. Day 4. So we kind of talked on Indra's scope yesterday morning. We were both on that scope, and we talked a little bit about this. But here you go. So I invite you to contemplate the notion that your ego and your soul are sibling children of God, loved equally and unconditionally. So feel free to go ahead and screenshot that, share it on Twitter. You just have to do that screenshot thing, power off, and select a button on, I think, both Android and iPhone. Then Periscope will ask if you'd like to share it on Twitter. You can hit yes, and then we can share this beyond just people that have access to Periscope. So yeah, so your ego, and so ego isn't a word that I use a lot with MPA. I tend to prefer the word personality because the term ego in itself has a really bad rap, especially amongst people who do personal growth and spirituality. But the thing is, the mechanism of reality is that we have to experience ourselves as, oh hey there, Astral Travel Academy. It's Dave, isn't it? Yes, I remember. Oh, we've got to chat, David, and see how we're getting on with the man stuff, with the man scopes. So yeah, so the ego and the soul, they're both mechanisms. Hey there, hey Dave. So they're both mechanisms of experience. So the ego, in a way, is what I call the personality. Has a bad rap, and often do a man blab. Oh yeah, we could do a man blab. I've not used it really, but we could do that. We've talked about doing some kind of man peritrain, conscious man peritrain, but we'll find out how that comes about. So let's stay with ego and soul. So the ego, the personality, is very much part of your experience as a human being. The ego, in a way, is something which creates the idea of separation, which is where you get a bad rap. But the thing is, we are distinct individual human beings. Yes, we're all connected. Yes, blah, 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 all very lovely. But if you start trying to get rid of your ego, if you start judging your ego, then really, what judges the ego if not the ego, right? So it's always circular, and the thing is, the truth is you can't get rid of your ego. Even enlightened people have some form of ego because that's part of creating form. And the soul, which gets a lot of, everyone's talking ego today. Very, very true. And then the soul, so I have a very specific meaning for soul. For me, the soul is the aspect of the self, which is interested in evolution over time. So it's still a distinct someone, it's still a distinct something, so therefore could be classed as another aspect of the ego if you want to go down that route. But fundamentally, it's got a different perspective. It's always got that sense that, life is a journey, not a destination. It's got all the poetry in it. And it will always challenge you to grow and grow and grow because that's what it is. It's never completion. Thank you, Angela. So often what we do is we polarize those two perspectives. I raised my vibrations with MDMA, mate. All right, well, I'm going to let you go off and do that. Good luck. So, so basically, it comes down to the fact that you can start bashing the ego, or you can say, well, they're both really children of God. They're both, yes, indeed, and they're loved unconditionally. So I'm all in favour of, if you're going to have a perspective, let's align it with God as much as we possibly can. So what would happen if you loved your ego as much as your soul? And we haven't even talked about pure being. That's another level of the individual experience. Hey, Tom. So yeah, what would it be like if you just would love the ego as much as the soul? Now, to be fair, I mean, often the ego is reduced down to the parts of the ego where you're just being an arse. And if you're being an arse, you can be a very soulful arse, or you can be an egotistical arse. But the ego itself is just the personality expression. So if you were to love it as much as you love the soul, then wouldn't it just end that war? Aren't we all trying to end the war? So I just try to manage my ego. Yeah, so if you could manage it lovingly, I mean, I think it's definitely true there, Christy, that let me turn it around. Actually, I'm chatting away now. See my gorgeous face. So you can. The thing is, if you're basically judging the ego, then you're creating the very thing that we say we'd like to let go. Make nice with the ego, absolutely. So to me, we always have a relationship with all aspects of ourselves. You know, we can relate to our ego, relate to our soul, relate to our pure being, all of those different aspects. And those three, by the way, is how I break down the world of experience within the non-personal philosophies. And then I'll give you the fourth one, which is the absolute, which you can't experience anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant. But in terms of human experience, you've got the personality, which is the ego. Then there's the soul, and then there's the pure being. So in pure being, everything is perfection anyway. In the soul, there's always a constant journey. In the ego, there's just the stuff of life. But it's absolutely valid. So if you were to love it as unconditionally as you love the soul, then wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be freer? Because what happens when the ego arises, okay? Well, you know, shit can happen. The ego can tell you all sorts of crazy stuff. We've covered that a lot in June with our month of kindness. But if you just can love it, then there's a way that your experience of something is a function of your relationship to it. So you can say, well, you know, it's just like a puppy peeing on the floor. Managing it is impossible. Understanding it is the key. What do you think, Joel? Yeah, well, I think managing it is a bit personalized, ironically. It is a liberating philosophy. The multiple perspectives model that I talk about with non-personal awareness, I found it resolved so many of the spiritual paradoxes that you find in all of this sort of non-dual kind of your true self is just the pure being. It's like, well, no, it's not. You know, that's always an aspect. It's our teacher as much as anything else. Yeah, there's many functions to the ego. And again, that there's like most things in life, all labels in life have a positive and a negative. You can't escape the duality if you're in experience. The minute you're having any experience, you have to have duality, because experience requires distinctness, distinctness requires separation, and separation requires duality. Otherwise, you know, we'd just be formless and no one would exist anyway. The oneness, you know, all for the oneness. Thank you for that's my website. Find out more at joelyoungmpa.com. And actually, there's mpacentral.com is my blog, but you can just click on the blog there, which has got me just in my musings. I call it my musings on MPA and life, where I just bang on about all this stuff. But yeah, so there we go. So that's the contemplation for today. Your ego and your soul are simply children of God, loved equally and unconditionally. Now, Dave, you said something about you can't manage it, but understanding it, and asked me to sort of offer my thoughts on that. So I'll do that now. Yeah, I think managing is something which is, again, from a non-personal perspective, is very personally involved. I'm all for being the receiver of the experience, which isn't necessarily a managing job. So in terms of understanding it, you can understand it mentally. Lean toward happy. Oh, I love that handle. Welcome to you. Great handle. And so being the experiencer of it means you get to just experience what comes through. Understanding it, you can understand it with your mind, but that only goes so far. So to me, it's about experiencing it on every level. And I do talk a lot about sort of shifting your relationship to it. So if you've got a shitty relationship with your ego, you're going to be in arguments with it, you're going to judge it, it's going to judge you, you're going to fall out, all of these things. Oh, you're welcome, Brittany. Thank you for the feedback. Thanks for the invite. Okay. So it really is an opportunity to look at what is my relationship to the ego, what is my relationship to the soul. And from that perspective, you can begin to work with the relational dynamics. Also, it means it stops you the identifying with it, because there is that deeper perspective that you are, you're not your ego, if you like. But it's really a question of going deeply into this unique perspective which is happening, which you call you, has an idea about an ego and a soul and all the rest of it, because that's all we have. So what is the relationship to it? And then you come, it's not so personalized, you're not identified, therefore you're not so caught up in it, because if you're thinking, an egoic thought like I'm rubbish, it's probably an egoic thought. And then you think, that's me, that's what we call taking it personally. That's where the MPA process really, really helps. But one of the things that the process does is, love my sweet ego, just don't listen to it. Great. So again, just don't listen to it occasionally. Occasionally has a point. Occasionally, you never know. And you can love it. I often say the mind is like a puppy. It chews the furniture, pees on the floor. But it's got to tickle its belly, and it's very cute, really. And take it with as much seriousness as you do a puppy. It's just what they do. Where would we be without it? Up shit creek. Well, the thing I'm saying, love it, but don't listen to it. See, a lot of people here saying don't listen to it, and that isn't where I come from. I think it's really, again, but remember that I'm defining ego here as the personality. So all of your beliefs and emotions and stuff are really held here, because even the soul perspective it can impact that, but your feelings and experiences are in the personality experience. That's where they are. So I wouldn't say don't listen to it. I would say, but just have a healthy relationship with it. Understand that it has its perspective, and then be discerning about what works. I have to say, by going to play with MPA. Okay, Vanessa, good to see you. I am that I am. Yes, Christy. So I am that I am in the non-personal awareness model is the level of pure being or presence. And in that state, or that awareness, that level of awareness, and they all happen simultaneously, by the way, is a sense of pure being, presence. Everything is as it is. There's nothing to do, nothing to change. Mine likes to give unhelpful advice, except don't step in front of that bus. Yeah, it loves helpful advice. But here's the thing, guys. Without the ego, you wouldn't exist. Because the ego is a function of separation. So separation is required for us to be, you and me. You can't be a you and me without some part of us believing in separation. So we wouldn't have all of these beautiful experiences. We wouldn't necessarily have the joy of ice cream. We wouldn't have the love of, I like this shirt. This shirt's like a Gant shirt or something. And, when I was younger, I had no sense of dress, no sense of anything. But it's a function of my personality. And I've grown into this part where my personality has matured in a way that I can go, I like wearing nice shirts. It's kind of nice. It's a nice thing to do to myself. So it's not that you would never listen to your ego or never listen to your personality. It's just about understanding what's coming through in the moment. Egos are often contrived by the external, some good, some bad. Well, I think we do tend to build, again, there's arguments there about, past lives and karma and stuff, but we do tend to build our reality based on our experiences. Barry Hine is as straight as Michael Jackson. Oh, really? Good Lord. Yes, admission ticket to humanity. Yeah, I'm a big fan there of falling in love with humanity. If you go to let me show you actually, because I've got it up here somewhere. Let me pull it up. I'm going to show you my Facebook page. So let me turn this around. On my blog, there's also some good musings. So it's MPA Rocks. I don't know if you can see that there. Facebook.com/MPA Rocks. So one of the posts that I put up there was a comment which has now completely escaped me. Oh, hey Max, good to see you. Oh gosh, that's just gone completely blank. Why did I go to MPA Rocks? Somebody made a comment there. Can you repeat? Say no, because you're asking me to say something rude, and I do speak enough French to know that, and I didn't quite get to block you. I'm too listening. I ask ego, what do you want me to know? Yeah, it can be good. It can be good in that way. So it's about not ruling it out completely. It's just letting it, letting yourself have a good relationship with it. You know, it's okay. It's not this monster that we think it is that we have to slay. So I do say, you know, polish your personality. You know, I'm all in favour of personal growth. I'm all in favour of looking at how there's shadowy unconscious things that cause suffering. For me, it's always like, you know, it causes suffering, then there's something you can look at and move from suffering into greater peace. And that's certainly something which is part of where MPA comes in. Because people say to me, well, you know, like taking things personally is, you know, we can make it more personal. And I always say that something about humanity sent you to the site. Okay, yes, all in favour of evolving. So you can just trust yourself to. Oh, I've lost my train again. I'm having a lost train day. That's my personality. Have a good relationship with your personality ego. That's really the essence of what I'm saying. And understand the main thing here in this contemplation today. Let me show it to you again, just to remind you. Hang on, pull this up. So many things open. The invitation here. Oh, I'm having those hearts there. Thanks, Indra. Is to recognise that the ego and the soul, they're both aspects of God. So again, just to come back to that, if you think about that in Christianity, there's the Holy Trinity. So the Holy Trinity is Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. So in there are three different aspects. Okay, so Father is like, so they're all sprung from the infinite God. The God is kind of the creator, or the Father is the creator. The Son is the human form, which is effectively the ego, and then the Holy Ghost is like the soul, which in Hinduism is destruction. We'll get to that in a moment, but it really is a part of you which constantly causes evolution and growth, which requires destruction as well as creation. So in the non-personal perspective, we've got the personality or the ego. Got to run. Thanks so much. Good to see you, Heidi. Thanks for coming on. So the personality is like the human form. The soul is that destructive, creative, evolutionary part, and then pure being is like the sort of presence of God in experience. So it's all there. Again, now I've mentioned Hinduism. I have to include the Hinduism version. So you've got Brahma, which is God. Then I think it's Brahma and Brahman is the God form. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if which is your kind of religious background, Max, but if it's Hinduism, or you can correct me. But I'm pretty sure that the totality of God is Brahman, and then you've got, or is it Brahma? And then you've got the other one, Brahman or Brahma is like the Father. Then you've got, I think it's Vishnu is the human form, and then you've got Shiva, the destructive form. But basically, it's three different aspects. And the thing is, the whole point of all of those teachings is they are all happening at once. They're all equal. There's not a judgment about one or the other. Lord Brahma, the creator. Brahma. Okay. Lord Brahma. So I knew I was close. Yeah. So it comes out of the totality, which I think is Brahman. So there we go. So a bit of comparative religion there for you. Can't beat a bit of that on a Periscope Tuesday afternoon. So yeah, so kind of I've really chatted on today. It's been really great to get your feedback. But that's a general invitation to contemplate that notion. Now, I haven't mentioned this before, but these 7 contemplations to raise your vibration, it's all on a blog, on my blog site. So you can get to me at joelyoungmpa.com, nonpersonalawareness.com, and then click the blog, or you can go straight to the blog, which is a different URL. It's mpacentral.com. But if you go to myhandle.com and then just click on blog, then there's lots of musings on MPA and life. So I hope this has offered some value to you. That I really appreciate that you've spent time with me. I always go on to Periscope straight after I don't know if you're still on there, because I know you're heading to the woods. But Indra's on at 2:30. Thanks for coming, Angela. It's really good to see you again. I love to see you guys coming regularly. Thanks for all of you guys who shared. Jesus is Lord. You just missed us talking about the Holy Trinity. Oh my goodness, there you are. I had to watch the replay. Informative always. Thank you, Joel. You're welcome, David. And we must get on to that case with the man Peritrain. You love your ego as well. Woohoo! Way to go, Christy. Just watch your scope replay. Oh, Angela, do you use Scope? I'll have to check that out then and have a look at that. All right, guys, thanks so much for being here. Again, it's a privilege to me that you would spend your very precious time with me. Oh, just Jesus is Lord. I was raised Christian. My grandfather was a vicar in the Church of England. My perspective on spirituality is I love comparative religion. I love faith of all kinds. Basically, my view is that any way that you can connect to God, source, something deeper in yourself, and end suffering or reduce suffering in any way is a good thing, and there are many paths that way. So that's my perspective. All right, guys, love you. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you again 2 o'clock tomorrow. Bye, guys.